somebody help me out with this. So this is a new camera I got, AGFA Jsolette Mark 1 with the Solinar lens, and yeah, this is an old probably from the 40s medium format camera, film camera. Apparently this lens is actually pretty good. It's a Tessar 4-element lens. Basically like a knockoff of the Zeiss lens of that time period, but basically equivalent or possibly even better. So here's how the shutter works. You can open the back. And everything seems to be in working order besides the focusing. So check this out. Let's do the aperture first. Okay, that does that's the aperture at its widest, smallest, and then obviously the shutter works. So I kind of pulled on it while it was open. I don't know if that really hurts it or not. Very complex mechanism here. This is at the B setting, so you can keep it open as long as you want. Then you can go up all the way to 1/500th of a second. Though it's a little bit, the further you go into it being quicker, the more kind of grindy the mechanism gets. But you'll see it for just a second. Did it go? I think it just went. It was that fast. I'm gonna go a little bit slower. Yeah, you saw that. Let's do it one more time. Yeah. So, what's cool about this camera is it shoots medium format. So you have 35 millimeter film, which is basically the same size as the sensor in this digital camera, and that's like the classic film size. That's the size used for the majority of motion pictures. Then there's IMAX, which is like 65 to 70 millimeters. This shoots film that is as tall as IMAX, but this specifically shoots it in a square shape, so it's not actually as long. But there are actually medium format cameras that shoot longer, 6 by 9 centimeters. This shoots 6 by 6 centimeters, so square. And the advantage is that this has like 4 times the surface area of 35 millimeter film. This shoots 120 film. So those are just arbitrary numbers, or I don't even know if they're arbitrary, but they're just numbers that refer to different formats. So 120 film is medium format. Anyways, my issue, well, first I'll just say this camera's in amazing condition. The bellows have no holes in it. The lens is the best one you could get for this type. It's about 87 bucks. And basically everything seems to work. The shutter isn't, messed up. There's no holes in the bellows. That's a huge issue, apparently, holes in the bellows. And you change the aperture and you can change the shutter, and the mechanisms move very slowly, or very smoothly, I mean. The only issue is the focusing ring. It moves, so it's not locked. And I can see the lens on the front moving. But it doesn't seem like it's actually changing the focus. It seems like it's just permanently focused at infinity. And I could be wrong. This is only my third day having this camera. And, you know, I already like it a lot. I already love it. It just feels nice. But the thing is also to understand is I don't have really an actual good focusing mechanism. This part right here, that's just a viewfinder. That just kind of shows you what the picture frame is going to look like. That's why it's done a square shape. It doesn't actually focus, it's not connected to the lens, so there's no focusing mechanism going on. So to focus it, I have to get inventive, and I can't do this while film is in it, and I haven't actually shot any film with it yet. Because I don't have the money. But, because film is quite expensive. I got $40 in Amazon gift cards from basically this game I played, but I'm gonna have to spend it on like toothpaste and shampoo, not film. That's just maybe 2 years ago I would have done film first, but I know that at some point I'll be able to buy more film, and those things are more important. But yeah, so basically the way that I have to focus, or the way I can tell, is when no film is in, I have to put some kind of semi-transparent material in to focus the light against. And actually, if I tilt my eye the right way, I can actually see it focuses it, hits my eye, but it's not really super exact because I have to change the distance. I'll just show you. Right now I'm using wax paper. In the future, I would like to use ground glass or maybe some plastic. But I'll show you what I mean. So the first step to doing this is to open the shutter. So go with the camera. It's beautiful. And then you just move this and align the top arrow between the AGFA with B. Okay, see that? And then you wind the shutter. Make sure this is like the film, I don't know, it's just like the film roller gate thing. Anyways, then you point it at there. Okay. And then here you do. Put the wax paper in front. So you can see that, well, you're just kind of seeing the light. There's no detail. Let me rearrange this. Okay, so this is the setup. So I need something that's bright, that has high contrast, or not high contrast, but has high detail that I can like easily see being focused. So that's like that's the viewfinder, but it's not actually telling you it's focused. You have to do it this way. Let's turn on the light for a second. And I love how this fits both. I love how this fits both my modern camera and the film camera from 80 years ago. But it's interesting because I swear I had to screw it the left way, not the right way. Screw this the left way for that instead of the right way for this camera. This camera. Okay. So I'm gonna open it up and show you guys what I mean. So okay. Then let's begin. Now let's begin. Okay. Okay, I had to reorient it just because it was kind of awkward. Okay. Now let's begin. So, first, we take the shutter. Then we engage. We press the button. Okay. Now you take a piece of wax paper and you can see what I'm talking about. You're not actually looking at my computer, looking at the piece of wax paper. That's the image. But it looks kind of blurry. So I'm gonna mess with this for a second. Show you guys what I mean. So, no matter how I turn this, it doesn't seem to change the focus. And you can see, actually, let me see if I can get this. So, no matter how doesn't really matter how I turn this. It doesn't really matter how I turn this. It doesn't focus. Even though I can clearly see the glass in the front moving. Where are you? Little tab, there we are. I don't know if you can see that, but the glass in the front is definitely moving. So it's not a case of the ring being detached from the front lens element, and the front lens element is how it actually focuses. Moving that changes the focus, but it doesn't seem to do anything when I do this. I can't really film it because I don't have 3 arms, but basically you can take my word for it that when I change this front element, it does not change the focus basically at all on the wax paper, but you can clearly see the little bits of accumulated dust. You can pretty clearly see that when I do this. So how do I show you this? Well, I don't have 3 arms, so let me see if I can do some kind of magic. Oh, there we go. feel. So, you can see, let's move this, should be able to see the glass element, the grime on it. Well, there's my finger. Let's do a manual focus. I'm just really happy this camera's working as it is, though. Apparently this lens is legendary. It was just made really well. So let's, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I'm gonna manually set the focus, which is borderline impossible. I'm not even gonna fuck with this. Oh, it's stuck open. Well, that actually kind of works for me, so I was gonna take advantage of it, even though it's not supposed to stay open like this. So I'm trying to capture the grime on it. Let's go to the front. That works too. You can see, okay, you can see the grains on the lens. So the front lens is moving. Okay, let's try to close this thing because it's not supposed to be open after I'm done clicking the button. Okay. Guess I just, maybe that's part of the settings. Maybe it's supposed to do that. There's kind of a pause there. I mean, there's no manual on this camera. Like, I'm literally just figuring it out by messing around with it. The main thing when you're messing around with stuff like this is just make sure you don't press anything too hard. Don't break it. Oh, you can do that. So you can just hold it open by clicking the thing to the left. Then I'm assuming if you click it again. Okay, sweet. I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but I'll show you what I just discovered, which makes my life easier. So, if this thing chooses to focus. Do that. Click this. Okay, now. Click that. Then you click this. Then you move this again. And then it just stays open. Okay. And then when you want it to close, I'm assuming you just click this again. Maybe go forward. Click it again. Okay, it's not working. Okay, and there it goes. Okay. So yeah. Now why would I even want this? Well, that's a great question. Why would I even want to shoot with film? I mean, my digital camera can already take great photos. So I'm just making sure the shutter works as normal, because I don't need it to stay open. It's not its main purpose. Main purpose is to do quick exposures like normal, which you can't do. Okay, cool. Now that was the thing under it. Now, why would I want to shoot film with an old camera like this? Now, why would I want to shoot with film? And that basically leads me to just this idea I've had where, you know, it turns out the majority of smartphone screens aren't actually capable of displaying the majority of pictures, even digital ones, in their full resolution, let alone film, something like medium format. I mean, the amount of pixels or like lines of resolution in a medium format photo is extremely high, and digitizing it, you know, would never be really equal to what it looks like in real life. And the same is even true for this camera right here. It can take 4K photos. The thing is that my smartphone, this only has, I think 1750 by, 12,000 pixels, something like that. So it can't even fully display it. When I watch a 4K video on YouTube on this phone, what that really controls is the data rates for just like the bits per second, the caps on the compression that they do. So it's not even really the resolution, it's just like how much compression YouTube does to it. So 4K looks 4K on an actual 4K monitor, or in a picture that's been printed at 4,000 dots per inch with an inkjet printer, that is far greater than the 4K on my smartphone. And this just leads me to a whole other topic that I'm making another video about, which is probably going to be quite long. But basically, I've been getting into photography recently, and I really like photos and just the power they have. And it seems like a waste to only view them digitally. As well, I think that they're very much capable of telling stories, and my goal that I have in mind right now is to create a photo series that tells like a narrative. So my idea originally was to have almost like a slideshow of photos going back and forth, and with like a voiceover for the characters in it and sound effects or whatever, like kind of symbolic, simple, but like very pure and very clear, almost like a manga with manga panels and all that. But then I realized, it wasn't really enough, and so now my idea is to actually create a means of creating a real-life slideshow over your phone of photos that is aligned with a video playing in the background showing those same photos. And so get it to the point where you can have a black and white medium format film photo going over your phone one by one, and under it is the same photo but in color, and that color is slowly shifting and morphing. There's new textures and effects being added underneath, along with voiceovers and just audio telling a story. And so right now I'm trying to design and then basically build by 3D printing and then assembling a device that could fit on both sides of a phone, and at the press of a button, it would basically like put the photos over, and underneath it would be playing the same video showing those photos and basically altering the photos in real life, but you have the added resolution of the real photo above. And so medium format, it's going to be higher resolution than anything I can take on this. That being said, it'll be harder to edit, but I could take medium format color negatives with this, something like Portra, and then do a very basic digital scan with this camera, invert it, have the colored photo, and then contact print that negative with a black and white film, and then create like a photo scroll. Almost, it'd be a scroll, it'd be two parts. There'd be the feeder and there'd be the receiver on the left. And the left would have a spring and it would just feed it based on a button press in single file film. And so I envision something you could hold in your pocket and carry around with you. And this just goes back to something Kubrick said about, basically about advertisements, and about how even though they were very short and they weren't really like super traditional and they weren't realistic in a way, something about them was almost better because they had such a high amount of symbolic information density. He was talking about how, you know, late night beer commercials could tell an entire story in 30 seconds or less. And if you could make a feature-length film using the same style, you could fit in so much more substance and deepness and deeper meanings to it than you can with traditional filmmaking. That's what I'm interested in right now, is filmmaking. So I think that'd be interesting. Also, it's so much easier to do photographs than it is to film. You more need models, not actors, and it's really hard to, I mean, a huge thing I've been having an issue with is finding people to model. It's just really hard because the people that have that power on the film or the screen, they oftentimes don't really want to be seen. So that's what I've been doing lately. Also had some realizations about making videos in general, because I just have such a ridiculous backlog of footage, and I haven't actually like edited any of it just because I don't have the energy for it. And the other issue is that I'll film stuff and then I just don't have the energy to actually edit it together, and then after a couple days I lose the currentness of that story. So I just have a huge backlog, and this has been an issue for a couple years now, like a year and a half, just like filming stuff and then not putting it out there, even before I made this channel. So the solution I'm coming up with, the things I want to change because I want to start uploading more, is twofold. Number one, film everything in camera as much as possible. Like, don't rely on editing. So if I make a mistake, I'm just gonna have to stick with it and make the, you know, because there's old footage where every so often I'll like repeat a line 3 or 4 times because I didn't like the way I said it. Not only does that kind of disrupt the flow, but also it's not really authentic. But it also just makes editing harder because then I have to like think like, is there hidden gaffes in this footage? Am I gonna have to watch the whole thing? Secondly, it's to edit and upload as fast as possible. If I didn't have class tomorrow, I would do it with this stuff too. What's nice is that all of this footage is on a new SD card, so it's just very straightforward, and I can just drop it into CapCut. I'm learning Premiere Pro, so I'll get to that later, but I can drop it into CapCut, and then just bada bing, bada boom. It's just like less mental clutter. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at, and I have another video basically explaining my photography journey that I just have to edit and put together. But basically, yeah, I've come around on photography. I used to not like it so much, but now I like it a lot more. And yeah, so I want to take super high resolution or high detail photos with this thing and make a photo series. And this camera was just the perfect one. It's the AGFA Jsolette. I don't know if you can see that. Made in Germany. AGFA Jsolette. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I shall see you later. And I'm gonna post this tomorrow. I promised myself. Okay, see you guys. But yeah, with this camera, I'm sure it can do great things. So anyways, see you guys. Good night. I promise to post this.